The pencil snaps between my fingers as I help Ethan with his multiplication tables. 9 times 7. The broken pieces clatter onto the kitchen table, and I force a smile while reaching for another from the cup by the fruit bowl. Sorry, buddy. Let's try again. My son, all gangly limbs and curious eyes at 9, doesn't seem to notice the tension in my shoulders. Lily hums by the coffee table, her 7-year-old hands carefully coloring a turkey with improbable purple feathers. The phone rings, its cheerful chime at odds with the instant knot forming in my stomach. Vanessa. I know it's her before I even look at the screen. My younger sister has a particular timing, always calling when I'm most stretched thin, when the day has already demanded everything I have to give. I consider letting it go to voicemail, but old habits die hard. Hello? I tuck the phone between my ear and shoulder, still pointing at Ethan's math problem. Sabrina. There you are. Vanessa's voice bubbles through the line, artificially bright. Too bright. A warning sign I've learned to recognize over 36 years of being her sister. I'm helping Ethan with homework. What's up? I keep my tone neutral, already bracing for whatever is coming. Oh, that's perfect, because I'm calling about the kids too. She pauses dramatically. I'm hosting Thanksgiving at Riverside Bistro this year. Everyone's coming. I need you to cover the $2,600 bill. Not a request, a statement. My hand freezes mid-gesture over Ethan's workbook. You need me to what? The Riverside Bistro. You know, that gorgeous place by the river? She speaks as if I'm being deliberately slow. They have that amazing free-range turkey and those cute little desserts. Thomas says it's the perfect place. Thomas, of course. Her husband, whose father owns half the construction projects in town. The man who buys her designer handbags while my sister somehow never has money for her share of family celebrations. Vanessa, they have a piano player too, she continues, steamrolling over my attempted response. It'll be perfect for my Instagram. Mom's already talking about it with everyone. The familiar weight settles on my chest. The expectation that I'll handle things, fix problems, open my wallet. I've been the responsible one since Dad's heart attack when I was 17 and Vanessa was 14. While our parents focused on his recovery, I became the third adult in the house overnight. I massage my temple, feeling the beginning of a headache. Why exactly am I paying for your party? It's not my party. It's Thanksgiving, she counters, her voice taking on that wounded quality she's perfected since childhood. It's for the whole family. You're being so selfish. Ethan glances up, concern crossing his face. I soften my expression and point back to his homework, mouthing, "It's okay. I've already told Ethan and Lily," Vanessa adds, lowering her voice to a conspiratorial whisper that sends ice through my veins. They're so excited about the fancy dessert bar. All those chocolate fountains and custards. You should have heard them. My jaw clenches. She's gone straight for my weakness, my children's happiness. The memories flash unbidden. Giving up my scholarship to Cornell to help with bills after Dad's surgery. Loaning Vanessa money for her emergency car repair last month. The pattern stretches back through the years like a roadmap of my own fatal flaw, the need to be needed, to be the one who makes everything okay. Vanessa, I can't afford this. My voice drops, hoping the kids won't hear. I'm a single mother with a mortgage. Oh, please. Her tone hardens instantly. You make plenty at your job. What's more important, money or family memories? The kids deserve a nice holiday. I look up to see both Ethan and Lily watching me now, homework forgotten. Their eyes hold a mixture of curiosity and hope. They've picked up on the word dessert, if nothing else. My resistance crumbles like wet sand. I'll transfer the deposit tomorrow, I hear myself say, the words tasting bitter. Vanessa's voice instantly warms again. That's what sisters are for. I knew you wouldn't let us down. After she hangs up, I sit there with the dead phone in my hand. $6,300 in my savings account, earmarked for replacing the furnace before winter hits hard. Now, $2,600 of it will go to a meal at a restaurant I probably won't even enjoy. Mom? Lily appears at my elbow, purple crayon still clutched in her small fist. Is everything okay? I pull her close, breathing in the scent of apple shampoo and childhood. Everything's fine, sweetie. But nothing is fine. And for the first time in years, beneath the resignation and guilt, I feel something dangerous stirring. Anger. My phone chimes with an email notification 3 days before Thanksgiving. I'm at the kitchen counter prepping school lunches, the scent of peanut butter thick in the morning air. It's 6:47 a.m. Too early for spam, too early for work messages. The kids are still asleep, their backpacks lined up by the door like faithful sentinels. I tap the screen, squinting at the brightness. From Vanessa Miller. Subject: Thanksgiving. Arrangements. Important. My stomach tightens before I even open it. The same feeling I got as a child when Vanessa would smile sweetly at our parents right before announcing something I'd supposedly done. I opened the email and read, "Sabrina, after discussing with Mom and the family, we think it's better if you don't attend Thanksgiving at Riverside. You being a single mom makes some relatives uncomfortable. The children are still welcome, of course. Thomas can pick them up at 1 p.m. The peanut butter knife slips from my fingers, clattering against the countertop. I read it again. And again. The words don't change. Mom? Ethan stands in the doorway, hair rumpled, one sock on. Are you okay? I straighten, plastering on a smile that feels like plastic stretching across my face. Just fine, honey. Dropped the knife. Go finish getting dressed. After he trudges back upstairs, I scroll down to find additional text I missed. Also, I've arranged for Grandma's favorite appetizer trays from Morton's Catering. $1,100. Can you transfer that today? The restaurant needs the final head count by noon. Something cold and hard crystallizes in my chest. I'm not invited to a dinner I'm financing, and now there's catering I never agreed to. I open my banking app, scanning recent transactions. 3 pending charges from Riverside Bistro I didn't authorize. 2 from a party supply store, 1 from a florist. My phone buzzes with a text from my cousin Rachel. Thought you should see this. Not right how they're treating you. She's attached a screenshot of our family group chat, a chat I wasn't included in. Vanessa's message glows accusingly on my screen. Sabrina won't even notice she's not there. She's always working anyway. The kids will have more fun without her hovering. My hands shake. Not from fear this time. From something hotter. Something that makes my vision sharpen rather than blur. I call Vanessa. She answers on the 4th ring, her voice drenched in artificial sweetness. Morning, sis. Did you get my email? I was thinking. You uninvited me from a dinner I'm paying for. My voice comes out steadier than I expected, like it belongs to someone else, someone stronger. Don't be dramatic. I hear the rustle of expensive fabric. Picture her adjusting her perfectly coiffed hair, those highlights that cost more than my monthly grocery budget. It's not personal, just practical. Some of the family. Which family members exactly? A pause. Well, Mom thinks. Put Mom on the phone. Another pause, longer this time. Then my mother's voice, cold as November rain. Sabrina, your sister is trying to protect our family's reputation. Your role is to step aside gracefully. My role? This is what happens when you choose to be a single mother. There are consequences to your choices. The word choices slices through me. As if David leaving for his 23-year-old assistant was my choice. As if raising 2 children alone while working full-time was something I selected from a menu of life options. Mom, the children will be well taken care of. That's all that matters. She hangs up. I stand frozen, phone still pressed to my ear, when it rings again. Jennifer from work. Hey, I called Riverside to ask about their holiday platters, thinking of treating the team, and they mentioned your name. Said you were hosting some massive family gathering? The numbers sounded insane. My breath catches. What exactly did they say? That you're the financial responsible party for a 20-person dinner plus open bar. Seemed weird since you mentioned doing something small with the kids this year. After we hang up, my Aunt Margaret calls. Her voice carries the slight tremor of age, but none of the coldness of my mother's. Something doesn't feel right about this Thanksgiving arrangement, Sabrina. Are you really okay with it? Before I can answer, another call beeps in my bank's fraud department, flagging unusual spending patterns. I sit heavily at the kitchen table, surrounded by unfinished lunches and unwanted revelations. My phone lights up with a text from Vanessa. The children will understand someday why their mother wasn't welcome. Something snaps inside me, a tether I didn't know was holding me in place. With surprising clarity, I dial Riverside Bistro. Good morning. This is Sabrina Miller. I understand I'm listed as the financially responsible party for a Thanksgiving reservation under Vanessa Thompson? The hostess confirms cheerfully. Yes, I'm listed as paying. No, my name isn't on the attendance list. Yes, they have notes specifically indicating I won't be present. I'd like to cancel the reservation. The words come out clear and firm. There's a small cancellation fee, but we can refund most of the deposit since it's still 3 days out. Please process that immediately. After hanging up, tears finally come, but they're different from the ones I've shed before. Not tears of hurt, but of clarity, of rage and resolve crystallizing into something sharp and useful. How could they do this to their own niece and nephew? I whisper to the empty kitchen. Ethan appears in the doorway again, school shirt buttoned unevenly. Mom, we're gonna be late. I wipe my eyes, stand up straight. Let me fix your buttons, buddy. As I straighten his collar, I see Lily peering around the doorframe, purple crayon clutched in her hand, the same one from when Vanessa first called about this wretched dinner. Is Aunt Vanessa being mean again? She asks with a child's brutal honesty. I look at my children, really look at them, and realize they've been watching more than I thought. They've been learning what family means by watching how mine treats me. Yes, I tell them, the first completely honest word I've spoken about my sister in years. But we're going to fix it, together. The phone rings like a death knell at 6 a.m. I snatch it from the nightstand, heart hammering. Only bad news comes this early. You've ruined Thanksgiving for everyone. My mother's voice cuts through the line, frigid as winter steel. No greeting, no preamble. I sit up, sheets pooling around my waist. What are you talking about? The restaurant called Vanessa. You canceled the reservation. Her accusation hangs between us. How could you be so selfish? Through the wall, I hear Ethan's alarm clock. A school day waits for no family drama. I didn't cancel anything. The lie slides out automatically, my lifelong defense mechanism against her disapproval. Then something snaps inside me. Actually, yes, I did cancel it, because Vanessa uninvited me. Silence stretches thin. Then, she was protecting the family. Thomas's parents were uncomfortable with your situation. My situation? The words catch in my throat. A divorced woman. A single mother. It sends the wrong message at a family holiday. The blood drains from my face. 20 years of therapy couldn't prepare me for those words from my own mother. I need to get the kids ready for school. I hang up before she can respond. The phone immediately buzzes with texts. Uncle Robert, how could you do this to your own family? Cousin Janice, we were counting on this celebration. Even Thomas's mother, whom I've met exactly twice, very disappointed in your behavior. I set the phone face down on the counter while I make lunches. Turkey sandwiches with the crusts cut off for Lily, peanut butter and banana for Ethan, normal motions that anchor me while my world tilts sideways. The voicemail notification blinks when I glance at the screen. Sabrina. Vanessa's voice breaks with theatrical sobs. The children are heartbroken. I hope you're happy. In the background, I hear the unmistakable sounds of a shopping mall, not devastated relatives. After dropping the kids at school, I drive to work on autopilot. Jennifer waves me into her office when she sees my face. What happened? She closes the door behind me. I collapse into her guest chair. They didn't want me at Thanksgiving. Just my money and my children. What? Jennifer's outrage feels like the first honest reaction I've encountered in days. Vanessa arranged everything. Riverside Bistro. Fancy menu. Then emailed to say I shouldn't come, just send the kids and the money. My voice cracks. My own mother agreed with her. Jennifer's hand covers mine. That's not family, Sabrina. That's exploitation. The word hits me like a thunderbolt. Exploitation. Not love, not obligation, not complicated family dynamics, the excuses I've made for years. That night, after tucking the children into bed, I pull out the accordion file from the back of my closet. Tax records, bank statements, loan agreements. I spread them across the kitchen table like evidence at a crime scene. The pattern emerges with sickening clarity. 3 years ago, $3,200 for Vanessa's emergency dental work, the same month she posted Caribbean vacation photos. Last Christmas, $2,400 for car repairs, while she showed off a new designer purse. Last month, $1,800 for more car trouble right before she bought front row concert tickets. $17,000 over 3 years. The down payment for a house. A college fund. Security I've denied my own children to finance Vanessa's lifestyle. I create a new folder on my laptop labeled Proof. Scan each document. Organize by date. Add notes with clinical precision. The methodical work keeps me from screaming or weeping or both. My phone pings with a notification from my banking app. A pending transaction for $1,100 to Riverside Catering. Vanessa used my saved card information from when I ordered flowers for Mother's Day. Red floods my vision. I call the bank, forcing my voice to remain steady while explaining the situation. The transaction is reversed within minutes. I sleep dreamlessly that night, exhaustion finally overpowering anxiety. The doorbell rings at 10 the next morning. Saturday cartoons play in the living room while I open the door to find Aunt Margaret, my father's sister, holding a loaf of pumpkin bread. "May I come in?" she asks, her silver hair gleaming in the autumn Sunday. Margaret settles at my kitchen table, eyes widening at the spread of financial records. "You're finally seeing it, aren't you?" she says, pouring the tea I've made. "Seeing what?" "The pattern." She taps a finger on a loan agreement. "Your mother did the same to me years ago. I've watched this cycle repeat with you since you were 17. My hands tremble around my mug. "What do you mean? When your father had his heart attack, who paid for the hospital parking, the cafeteria meals, the medical bills insurance didn't cover?" "I did," I whisper, "from my college fund." Margaret nods. "While your mother bought Vanessa those ridiculous pageant dresses. Remember? A memory surfaces. Vanessa twirling in sparkling tulle while I counted quarters for the hospital vending machine. Your mother convinced everyone I was jealous when I questioned it." Margaret's eyes hold decades-old pain. "Just like she's telling everyone you're selfish now." Hot tears spill down my cheeks. I've spent my life financing their approval. Aunt Margaret covers my hand with her weathered one. "Family isn't an excuse for cruelty. It's a reason for kindness." That afternoon, Jennifer helps me draft careful responses to the family accusations. Not defensive, not apologetic, simple facts. I was excluded from the dinner I was expected to fund. I chose to cancel rather than accept those terms. "Block them after sending," Jennifer advises. "Give yourself space to breathe." I change passwords on all my accounts. Call the bank to flag any new attempts to use my cards. Send a formal email to Vanessa with the spreadsheet of all past loans attached. All future financial assistance is terminated. Then I find the paperwork for the $1,800 car repair from last month. The loan agreement with Vanessa's flourishing signature at the bottom. I call my bank and stop payment on the check that hasn't yet been cashed. For the first time in years, I sleep through the night without waking to check my phone for family emergencies. Morning brings clarity sharp as winter sunshine. I plan a simple Thanksgiving menu. Turkey, mashed potatoes, the cranberry sauce Lily loves. I even write out a grocery list with a steady hand. Ethan finds me crying in the kitchen anyway. "Are you sad about Thanksgiving, Mom?" he asks, his small hand on my shoulder. I wipe my eyes, looking at my son's worried face. "No, honey, I'm sad I didn't protect us sooner." Lily appears in the doorway, holding a drawing. 3 stick figures holding hands under a yellow sundae, just us. No extended family in sight. "Look, Mom, I made our family." She presents it proudly. The realization washes through me like a cleansing wave. We are a complete family already. I tape her drawing to the refrigerator and pull both children close, breathing in the scent of their shampoo and the future stretching before us. A future where family means protection, not exploitation. Where love doesn't come with a price tag. Thanksgiving morning dawns bright and cold. I'm up early, sliding the turkey into the oven, the kitchen warm with baking smells. The phone rings. Vanessa's name flashes on the screen. I set down the baster, take a deep breath that fills my lungs completely, and with steady hands, I answer the call. "Sabrina, the reservation's gone." Vanessa's voice pitches high with panic. "Everyone's waiting outside the restaurant right now." I steady my hand against the counter, feeling the cool granite beneath my palm. "I canceled it. I sent you an email confirmation." "You what?" Her shriek makes me pull the phone from my ear. In the background, I hear my mother's voice, sharp with indignation. Someone else murmurs Thomas probably while a chorus of complaints rises behind them. "You need to fix this right now," Vanessa demands. "Transfer the money immediately." "No." The word hangs between us, simple and complete. "I won't be financing events. I'm not welcome to attend." "What are you talking about?" Her voice shifts to the wounded little girl tone she's perfected since we shared bunk beds in the 80 seconds. The email, Vanessa. The one where you said I shouldn't come because I'm a single mom and relatives feel uncomfortable. The line goes dead. I place the phone down and return to basting the turkey, but my hands shake. 10 minutes later, tires crunch on the gravel of my driveway. I peer through the kitchen window. Vanessa storms up my walkway, mascara streaking down her cheeks. Thomas trails behind, his face a mask of embarrassment tinged with loyalty. My mother sits rigid in the passenger seat of their BMW, refusing to look toward the house. The doorbell chimes. Ethan appears in the kitchen doorway, Lily peeking around him. It's okay, I tell them. Just Aunt Vanessa. When I open the door, Vanessa doesn't wait for an invitation. She pushes past me, her designer purse swinging wildly. How could you ruin Thanksgiving for your own children? Her voice rises, calculated for the neighbors to hear. Thomas hovers on the threshold, hands jammed in his pockets. Just pay for another restaurant, he suggests awkwardly. We'll sort it out later. Please come in, I say, stepping back with a calm I don't entirely feel. The tightness in my chest eases when I spot my children watching from the kitchen doorway, their faces solemn but unafraid. I gesture toward the living room. Have a seat. I don't want to sit, Vanessa spits. I want you to fix this mess you've created. I move to my laptop on the coffee table, opening it with steady fingers. Let me show you something. Thomas steps closer as I click on the folder labeled Proof. I open the email Vanessa sent. Read it, I tell Thomas. Out loud, please. He leans forward, squinting slightly. Sabrina, after talking with Mom and the family, we think it's better if you don't attend Thanksgiving this year. Being a single mother makes some relatives uncomfortable, especially at Riverside Bistro. Ethan and Lily are welcome to come without you. Please transfer the remaining balance today. His face changes as he reads, color draining. You did what, Vanessa? My sister's tears vanish, replaced by rage. You were supposed to understand. That's your role. She whirls toward the children. Aunt Vanessa had a beautiful day planned for you, with chocolate fountains and ice sculptures. Ethan steps forward, shoulders squared like when he faces down bullies at school. We like Thanksgiving with Mom. Lily nods, her small hand finding mine. Mom makes the best cranberry sauce. Vanessa's porcelain facade cracks completely. Her mouth opens and closes, fish-like. The front door opens again, and Aunt Margaret walks in carrying a casserole dish. Her gray curls bounce as she bustles past Thomas. Hope you don't mind, Sabrina. Brought my famous sweet potatoes. My phone chimes with a text. Jennifer, standing strong? Through the window, I see my neighbor Mrs. Peterson wave, giving me a thumbs up before closing her curtains. With my children beside me, I retrieve a manila folder from the desk. While we're here, I'd like to show you something else. I spread the financial records across the coffee table loan documents, bank transfers, credit card statements, all meticulously organized with Vanessa's signature on each page. Thomas bends over them, frowning. The front door opens one more time, and my mother finally enters, her posture rigid with disapproval. You told me Sabrina offered to pay, Thomas says slowly, looking up at Vanessa. This shows you demanded it. My mother steps forward. Family helps family, Sabrina. You've always known that. Yes, I agree, meeting her gaze directly. Real family does. Thomas takes a step away from Vanessa, hands running through his hair. This is why we're always broke. He turns to my sister. You said your sister was generous. You never said you were draining her accounts while planning to exclude her. My mother attempts to place a hand on his arm. Now, Thomas, there are always two sides to. He shrugs away from her touch. No, this isn't about sides. It's about honesty. His voice drops. The car repairs, the emergency loans, the vacations, all while I worked overtime. Vanessa's face contorts. You're choosing her over me? Thomas looks at her like he's seeing her for the first time. I'm choosing honesty. The room falls silent except for the gentle bubbling of gravy on the stove and the timer counting down our Thanksgiving dinner. Not the one Vanessa planned, but the one my children and I prepared together this morning, flour dusting Lily's nose as she rolled out pie crust. I don't feel triumph as I watch my sister's world shift. Just a quiet certainty that the ground beneath my own feet is finally solid. Dinner will be ready in 20 minutes. I say, you're all welcome to stay. But from now on, we're family on my terms too. It's Thanksgiving. Can't we put this aside for today? Mother's voice wavers between command and plea as she stands in my kitchen. The turkey on the counter behind me fills the room with sage and rosemary. Vanessa dabs at her eyes with a monogrammed handkerchief. I just wanted a perfect family holiday. Her voice cracks with practiced vulnerability. The children would have loved the chocolate fountain. Remember when we went to that restaurant for your 16th birthday? They had one just like it. Ethan and Lily hover in the doorway, watching with solemn eyes that seem to understand far more than 9 and 7 years should. Thomas shifts his weight from one foot to the other, refusing to meet my gaze. I bought special presents for the kids, Vanessa adds, reaching for her oversized purse. Can't we just enjoy the day, for their sake? My phone buzzes with yet another message. Aunt Carol, just let it go for today. It's a holiday. Mother steps closer, her voice hardening. This is your last chance to be part of this family. The words land like a slap. Part of this family. As if I haven't been carrying this family for 20 years. I'm sorry you felt excluded. Vanessa offers, the non-apology sliding off her tongue with practiced ease. We can move forward now. Thomas clears his throat. What if everyone pays something? We split the difference? My hand trembles as I reach for my purse on the counter. Years of conditioning surge through me. Fix it. Make peace. Be responsible. The children are watching. What am I teaching them if I cave now? What am I teaching them if I don't? The trembling stops. No. I straighten my spine. This ends today. I open my laptop and turn the screen toward them. I've prepared something for everyone. I hit send on an email I drafted 3 days ago, hearing multiple phones chime throughout the house. Even Aunt Margaret's, who stands quietly in the kitchen doorway. That email contains financial records organized by year. Every loan, every gift, every payment I've made on Vanessa's behalf since Dad's heart attack. My voice remains steady, surprising even me. $17,000 in 3 years. Plus, the countless times I've been excluded from events I've financed. Mother's face pales as she scrolls through her phone. I've been financing my own exclusion for years, I continue. And I'm done. I gesture toward the dining room table, already set with my grandmother's china and fall-colored placemats. Everyone is welcome to stay for Thanksgiving dinner. I've prepared enough for all of us. Vanessa's eyes narrow. There's just one condition. I meet each person's gaze in turn. Acknowledgement of the truth. No payment, no retribution, just honesty. I don't want your money, I add. I want a real family. We can be family on equal terms or not at all. That's your choice. Thomas looks up from his phone, his face tight with anger, not directed at me. We need to talk about our finances, he says to Vanessa. Now. Mother clutches her purse to her chest. Sabrina, be reasonable. I am being reasonable. I stand between my children and the family who would teach them that love requires sacrifice of dignity. For the first time in decades. My phone buzzes with new messages. Uncle Jim, just saw your email. I had no idea. Cousin Beth, we should talk. I think Vanessa did the same thing to me last Christmas. Aunt Margaret steps into the room, her silent presence like armor at my back. I'm teaching my children about real family values, I say, reaching behind me to take their small hands in mine, the kind that don't require buying a place at the table. Vanessa's face contorts, all pretense vanishing. You've always been jealous of me, always trying to make yourself the martyr. She grabs her coat and purse. Come on, Thomas. Mother, we're leaving. Thomas hesitates. Vanessa, maybe we should. Now. Mother lingers at the threshold, her eyes filled with something I've never seen before. Recognition, perhaps, or regret. Then she follows Vanessa, as she always has. Thomas pauses at the door. I'm sorry, he murmurs, before following his wife. I close the door behind them without anger. The weight that's pressed on my chest for years lifts, replaced by something light and unfamiliar, freedom. I turn to my children. Let's have Thanksgiving dinner. 6 months pass in a blur of peaceful Sundays, homework sessions, and nights without my phone jolting me awake with emergency requests. Spring blooms outside our windows as Ethan masters his multiplication tables, and Lily learns Twinkle Twinkle on her new violin. Then an envelope arrives. The return address shows an apartment complex across town, not the sprawling Tudor home where Vanessa and Thomas have lived since their wedding. I trace my own name written in Vanessa's slanting script, so different from my own precise lettering. I take a deep breath and slide my finger under the flap. Onions sizzle in olive oil as I stir them with a wooden spoon, their sweet aroma filling the kitchen. Sunday dinner preparations spill across the counter, fresh herbs, diced vegetables, a whole chicken waiting to be roasted. Through the window, golden afternoon light bathes the backyard where the neighbor's cat dozes on our fence. 9 times 7? I ask Ethan, who sits at the kitchen table surrounded by math worksheets. 63. He scribbles the answer without breaking his pencil. Without breaking me. On the wall beside the refrigerator hangs a framed certificate, my promotion to Deputy Director, Financial Operations, Latin American Division. The salary, $165,000, still makes me blink when I see my bank statement. Not for what it buys, but for what it represents. Value recognized. Lily's violin fills the house with music from the living room, halting at times, but persistent. She started lessons 3 months ago with Mrs. Winterbourne, whose students regularly make the state orchestra. Aunt Margaret stands beside Lily at the counter, her hands guiding my daughter's smaller ones as they mix cranberry sauce. Your grandmother taught me this recipe in 1975, she tells Lily. Now I'm teaching you. The phone rings. I wipe my hands on a dish towel, glancing at the screen. Mom, my pulse quickens but doesn't race. Progress. Hello? I keep stirring the onions with my free hand. Sabrina, I wanted to ask about attending Lily's recital next week. Mom's voice carries that familiar tentative edge, testing boundaries like a child with a hot stove. Family should stick together. The old hook dangles before me. I recognize it now, see its sharp barb. You're welcome to attend, I say, my voice steady. But these are our boundaries. No comments about her father, no questions about my finances. Just be her grandmother. But those are the terms, Mom. A pause stretches between us. All right, she finally says. I end the call without the knot that once lived permanently in my stomach. I turn back to the chicken, sliding lemon slices under its skin. Ethan looks up and grins before returning to his multiplication tables. The phone rings again. Vanessa. A year ago, that name on my screen would have sent dread crawling up my spine. Today, I answer with a simple, "Hi, Vanessa." Hey, her voice sounds different, less polished, more human. I was wondering if you'd want to grab coffee sometime this week. Just us. No demands, no emergencies, just a request. I could do Wednesday morning, I say, neither eager nor cold. Just present. Wednesday works. Thanks. After dinner, when the kids are in bed, I open my journal. The leather cover is worn, a gift from Jennifer on the 6-month anniversary of what we now call the Thanksgiving Revolution. I flip to a fresh page. I confuse sacrifice with love. I write, I thought being needed was the same as being valued. My worth isn't measured by what I give up. Teaching my children their value starts with knowing my own. On my desk sits a folder marked College Fund, now containing statements for both Ethan and Lily's accounts. Beside it, a letter from the company president commending my work on the Brazilian investment project. The doorbell rings the next morning as I'm packing lunches. Amanda, come in. My new colleague shifts awkwardly in the doorway, clutching her coffee. Sorry to stop by so early, she says. I just needed to talk to someone who might understand. We sit at my kitchen table. Her story unwinds a brother who keeps borrowing money, parents who insist she help him because family takes care of family. I recognize the patterns immediately. I keep thinking I'm the problem. Amanda says, staring into her mug. Setting boundaries isn't selfish, I tell her. It's necessary. The tension drains from her shoulders. I thought I was the problem. I understand that relief. I lived without it for 36 years. 1 year later, my dining table stretches to accommodate our Thanksgiving guests. Aunt Margaret carves the turkey while Jennifer and her husband arrange homemade pies on the sideboard. My neighbors chat with Ethan about his science project. Lily plays a simple melody on her violin for everyone. I stand to offer a grace before the meal. I'm thankful for the journey that brought us here, for lessons learned and new traditions created. Later, after everyone has gone, I open the envelope that arrived from Vanessa last week. Her new address, a modest apartment across town, is stamped in the corner. Inside is no request for money, just a simple card. Working on being better. Thank you for showing me how. I place it in a box on my desk labeled New Beginnings, then join my children in the backyard where they chase the last glow of sunlight through fallen leaves. The most valuable tradition I could give my children wasn't a fancy meal or perfect photos. It was the knowledge that love without respect isn't really love at all.